We have commentators laughing at this.
Washington has done that incredibly well so far. Reese missed the first one, still with it, blocked.
They realized that they were laughing and then quickly stopped themselves like, oh, I can't laugh. I'm live right now.
The world of sports endorsements runs on one golden rule: winning sells. But what happens when a brand gambles its future on an athlete who can't seem to rise when it matters most? Angel Reese, once celebrated as the bold new face of women's basketball, now finds herself trapped in a storm of disappointment. Every missed layup, every viral blooper, and every painful defeat fueling a narrative that's spinning out of control. And right in the middle of this chaos stands Reebok, the brand that went all in on her name, her image, and her promise. But that promise is now cracking under pressure. In a stunning move, Reebok has broken its silence, releasing a statement that directly confronts the growing backlash, the dismal performance, and the uncertain future of their multi-million-dollar partnership with Angel Reese. What was supposed to be a groundbreaking alliance is now starting to look like one of the most shocking endorsement downfalls in modern sports history.
Angel Reese was so bad last night, the announcers calling the game, they were laughing at her performance.
This isn't just an athlete struggling. This is a branding crisis exploding in real time. What started as a marketing dream has now spiraled into a corporate nightmare, and the message Reebok just dropped might change everything, not just for Angel Reese, but for the entire world of sports endorsements. Angel Reese's name wasn't just trending, it was everywhere. After LSU's historic NCAA championship and that unforgettable rivalry showdown with Caitlin Clark, she skyrocketed into pop culture like few women's basketball players ever have. In that moment, Angel Reese wasn't just a player, she was a movement, a headline, a phenomenon. And Reebok wanted to own that lightning in a bottle.
This was an epic embarrassment, bro. Remember, this is a pro basketball player. Won a national championship. Their calling card they'd like to hang over is she beat Caitlin Clark. Remember that.
Nicknamed the Bayou Barbie, Angel Reese was celebrated as a cultural disruptor, bold, unapologetic, and ready to redefine what a modern athlete could be. Brands lined up, social media erupted, and right at the heart of the frenzy stood Reebok, making their boldest move in decades. Under the leadership of Shaquille O'Neal, Reebok was desperate to claw its way back into basketball relevance. Their master plan? Sign Angel Reese to a multi-million-dollar signature shoe deal and crown her as the face of their grand revival. On paper, it looked flawless. A magnetic young star with massive Gen Z appeal, a viral persona, and charisma that could light up every camera in the room. It sounded like a marketing slam dunk. And at first it was. The headlines glowed. Reebok hailed Reese as a once-in-a-generation voice, someone who could shift culture, move product, and inspire a new era of women's sports. But buried beneath the press releases and flashy campaigns was one glaring omission: on-court performance. That silence, once ignored, is now echoing louder than ever, and it's haunting Reebok's entire investment.
Her dominant performances in June, she earned her All-Star selection. But these aren't just a couple of bad plays. These aren't bloopers. These aren't rare moments. This is the norm.
As the WNBA season unfolded, the hype train began to derail in spectacular fashion. What was supposed to be Angel Reese's breakout moment with the Chicago Sky quickly spiraled into a public unraveling. Her performance didn't just disappoint. It collapsed into full-blown embarrassment. Missed layups, blown defensive rotations, and questionable effort became the new normal. Instead of highlight reels, social media was flooded with viral TikToks mocking her missed finishes and fans questioning how a supposed superstar could look so unprepared on the court. The same platforms that once celebrated her confidence were now turning her game into comedy content, and Reebok, the brand that bet everything on her, suddenly found itself dragged into the storm.
Angel Reese, face up, here we go. Oh, snap, cook up, crossover, crossover, right to the rack, and we...
Commentators chuckled on live television, not out of joy but disbelief. And soon, even casual fans started asking the one question no athlete ever wants to hear. Is Angel Reese actually good at professional basketball? That single question cut deep, not just into Reese's credibility, but into the very core of Reebok's massive investment. Because in a world of performance sports, hype doesn't sell shoes, results do. And in basketball, your game is your resume. Right now, Angel Reese's stat line reads more like a warning label than a highlight reel. Shooting below league averages, struggling under the rim, and being exposed by opponents on both ends of the floor, all while the Chicago Sky sink toward the bottom of the standings. This isn't what brands bet millions on. What began as a bold marketing play has now mutated into a high-stakes branding crisis. Reebok, once a titan in basketball history, the home of Iverson and Shaq, now finds itself tethered to a player whose highlights are turning into blooper compilations. And as the losses stack up and the ridicule grows louder, silence was no longer an option. Then came that game, the one that changed everything. The Chicago Sky were getting dismantled by the Washington Mystics, and Angel Reese, once the fiery heartbeat of her team, stood in the center of the wreckage. But what made this game unforgettable wasn't the score. It was the sound. The commentators, live, on air, started laughing. Not with her, at her. It wasn't just one bad possession. It was a sequence of awkward putbacks, missed layups, and moments that looked painfully out of sync. For a brief second, they forgot they were broadcasting professional basketball. One chuckled, then tried to recover. But it was too late. The internet caught it, and once again, Angel Reese was trending. This wasn't just a bad night. It was symbolic. That laughter told the story better than any stat sheet ever could. The respect was gone. And in the WNBA, respect is everything. A league that's fought tooth and nail to be recognized as elite. Now watching one of its most hyped stars become the punchline of its own evolution. When professional commentators can't keep a straight face during your possessions, you've crossed into dangerous territory. You're no longer competing, you're being mocked. Social media followed swiftly. Memes, parody edits, side-by-side clips, even viral montages comparing Reese's missed layups to toddlers on mini hoops. What once was hype had turned into humiliation. And this matters, because in the modern sports economy, perception is profit. Athletes don't just sell through performance, they sell through public confidence. And Angel Reese's public stock was crashing. Even more devastating than the mockery was the silence. No statements from the league. No veterans stepping in. No teammates defending her. Just quiet. And that silence spoke volumes. For Reebok, this wasn't just a PR issue. It was a nightmare scenario. Their headline athlete was no longer a breakout star. She was a liability. Every new clip, every sarcastic tweet, every meme was eroding millions in brand equity. When Reebok signed Angel Reese back in 2023, it was supposed to mark a revolutionary comeback. With Shaquille O'Neal as president of basketball, they pushed Reese as the brand's new cultural leader, confident, unapologetic, and built for Gen Z. It looked flawless on paper. Millions of followers, viral moments, a national championship, and a bold personality that screamed marketability. But somewhere between the photo shoots and the press tours, nobody asked the one question that mattered most. What if her game doesn't hold up? Now, that question has become Reebok's worst nightmare. Because Angel Reese's rebounding stats might look strong on paper, but the footage tells another story. Missed finishes, awkward footwork, and a glaring lack of rhythm in the pro game. Every Chicago Sky game feels like a countdown to her next blooper. And this isn't just a basketball problem anymore. It's a brand credibility crisis. Reebok didn't sign an influencer. They signed an athlete to sell performance. And the image they built, of a generational talent ready to lead the next wave of women's basketball, is collapsing under the weight of missed shots and public ridicule. What once felt bold and disruptive now feels forced and fragile. Industry insiders are already whispering what fans are shouting. Did Reebok jump the gun? Some marketing executives have even labeled it one of the biggest miscalculations in recent endorsement history. Behind the scenes, the tension is rising. Sources say Reebok's internal teams are in full damage control mode, debating whether to pivot her campaign away from performance and into lifestyle branding. focus less on the game, more on the image. Others are quietly suggesting shelving her signature shoe altogether. Then came the statement, cautious, polished, and telling. Reebok acknowledged the challenging season, while reaffirming their commitment to athletes who inspire culture. That one word, culture, said it all. The pivot away from performance wasn't an accident. It was the first public sign that Reebok was trying to quietly distance itself from the court without cutting ties entirely. But by the time a brand starts explaining instead of promoting, it's already lost control of the story. And in the cutthroat world of sports marketing, losing the narrative is the same as losing the game.